What's good, y'all? It's Ali back at it again with another YouTube video where I give you guys mental models you can use to become extremely successful and achieve all the goals you're fucking after. So let's get right into it. So today we actually have a very important topic, and that is purpose. Because a lot of you niggas have no purpose, and you've probably seen in a lot of these self-development and personal development spaces, purpose being talked about a lot. Because when you're kind of doing things with no purpose, it feels unfulfilling. It doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel worthwhile. And the thing is, to achieve a goal or to achieve your goals, if the pursuit becomes unfulfilling because you're going to be pursuing more than you're achieving, the inputs take a lot of your time to get the outputs, right? You're going to end up kind of falling off, being inconsistent, being undisciplined, being unmotivated, which is obviously a problem for you who wants to become rich, gain status, be important as a man, reach the peak of your masculinity. You need to be able to stay focused for a long time. Okay, so as we always do, what does purpose mean in the context of you achieving your goals and becoming successful? Well, what it means is what it is where your focus naturally goes. And y'all might be seeing that and be thinking, where my focus naturally goes. What does Ali mean by that? What do you mean by that? So what's interesting about humans is that in our brain, we have the logical brain, right? This is usually our frontal cortex. Usually it is our frontal cortex, right? That we have our logically sound brain, our brain that remembers data, thinks things through, uses logic, takes in information, makes comparisons, this, that, and third. And below that part of the brain, we also have an emotional control center that controls our emotions and how we feel about things, our likes and dislikes, right? So when I say where your focus naturally goes, the part of our brain that controls our likes and dislikes makes us naturally want to go towards something, usually the things that we just like. But the thing is, it's not connected to our logically sound brain. So it's hard for us to articulate what our purpose is. It's not like you're born and then you just know what your purpose is in life. Why do you think so many niggas talk about this shit? Because it's like, how do I know what my purpose is? Because it's not obvious to you. Because the part of your brain that controls what your purpose is, meaning what you naturally want to focus on or what you naturally like, is not connected to the logically sound brain. And if that shit was connected, it'd be fucking wild anyway. Because you wouldn't be able to think rationally, and you also wouldn't be able to like feel emotion because they're both in the same place, which is why they're separate. But this also means that's why it's not clear to you what your purpose is in life. It's not clear to you what is most fulfilling for you to do. So you actually have to pay attention to what your actions are, because your actions actually leave clues and evidence as to what your purpose is. So it's almost like how you feel about things or your likes and dislikes make you do certain things. And then if you just start to collect data on these certain things that you do, it can become clear to you what your purpose is and what you feel most fulfilled by. Correct? Okay, so what can we do? How can we pay attention, or what data can we start to collect to figure out what our purpose is? Well, the thing is, your purpose is probably already very clear with your current actions. You just don't know it yet. So this is how we find out. We just have to ask ourselves a series of questions, right? And here are the questions. So one of the first questions you should ask yourself is, or what you should look at, moreover, is your YouTube, because we're on YouTube right now, / podcast history, right? So why is this important, or why does this work? Looking at your YouTube / podcast history. Well, as I've defined here, purpose is where your focus naturally goes. So your YouTube history and your podcast history is of stuff that you naturally like watching. Because it's not like this is a chore. It's not like someone's forcing you to watch YouTube or watch podcasts. So you're doing this of your own volition based on your own personal desires. So what does your YouTube and podcast history look like, right? What is stuff that you pay attention to the most on YouTube, right? What are the kind of podcasts you watch? What is it about? Is it about basketball? Is it about soccer? Is it about personal development maybe? Is it about money? Is it about, I don't know, fucking plants, animals? Is it about weather? Whatever it is, like, what are you paying attention to, right? Maybe if you're watching my videos, personal development is a big thing for you, right? Or motivation is a big thing for you, or self-development is a big thing for you. Self-improvement is a big thing for you, right? Okay, so this is one of the things you can start to look at. And what I'll do too is Actually, I'll go through all the questions. I'll write all the questions for you now, and I'll do this on myself to make it clear to you, so it's easier for you guys to understand. So YouTube and podcast history is one. Okay, two, right? The second thing you can do, or you should start to look at, is okay, what do people say I'm good at or always talk about? This is massive, right? Because as I said here, it's hard to see what your purpose is because the part of our brain that makes it clear to us is not connected to our logical brain. So it's like, okay, other people can start to take notice what you're just naturally doing, what feels normal to you, but other people can recognize it as surprising. Because there's probably something, whether it be around your current friends or your parents or your family, they say, yo, you always talk about this. You're always paying attention to this. You do this thing and you're super good at it. Like you have this ability, and like whenever you talk about this thing, your eyes always light up. You know, you start talking with your hands, you get real passionate, you really get into this shit, right? So clearly there's something there because it's like you just naturally are doing this thing that everybody else outside of you is noticing is like, nigga, you do this thing and nobody else really around is doing this thing. This is unique to you very clearly, right? So that's another way you can start to see like, oh, maybe this is something that I really enjoy, or this is my thing, right? And then third, right? Where do you spend money, right? Where is your money going? Where do you spend your money? Because especially when it's not on food or hygiene or stuff that you have to take care of with yourself, like even like clothes, hygiene, food, like any of these activities that are a part of your like survival as a human don't count because you have to do those things. So where do you spend your money? Because if you look at your bank account or you look at your bank statements, which is basically what this question is asking, you're probably spending your money in a particular way consistently on some activity or thing. So what is this activity or thing? What does it look like? Right? Because if you're constantly spending money on this thing, you're willing to use your hard-earned money or your parents' hard-earned money on this particular thing, then it must mean it is of great value to you, right? It must be very fulfilling for you. You must be naturally focusing on it. It just, your focus just must be naturally going there. So clearly there's something here. There's something of value here that you can really look at, right? And last but not least, so I can get into it for myself to really get you guys to understand this, is I'm just going to put 4 up here because I want to make sure you guys can see it. So 4 will just be up here, which is favorite, and this one's funny, but I love this one. Favorite movie / MC. So basically, think about your favorite movie, right? Because this is a big where your focus naturally goes thing. What is your favorite movie? And who was the main character of said movie, right? Because when we identify or enjoy a movie a lot, it's because whatever the main character is demonstrating or the plot of the movie is the plot of said movie is demonstrating relates to us very strongly. So we're like, oh, I really fuck with this shit. Cause like if I had to imagine my life or what I would be doing or what I would enjoy doing, this would be it. So it's like, oh shit, this is my thing. Like I fuck with this shit. So if your life is like that, you would enjoy that shit. Right. And this is, once again, no one forces you to pick your favorite movie or main character in said movie. You just do it. It's natural. So you know this is you. Okay. So let me go through it as me so you guys can get a way better understanding of it and how this applies very directly to you. So YouTube and podcast history for me. So at least through most of my adolescence, because I'm 24 right now, but through most of my adolescence, I always used to search up how-to videos, bro. I was addicted to it. I was like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And it used to be on the mental side of things, of course, too. It was like, how do I go from here to here? How do I be disciplined? How do I be focused? How do I be motivated? How do I do this? How do I do this? Like literally all the fucking stuff I talk about on this fucking channel. I'm like, how did I do all these things? Like, how do I do all these things? How do I gain all these abilities? Because these abilities seem integral to success and enjoying your life. So how do I gain these abilities? So if I go over all my YouTube and podcast history since I was fucking like 13, so almost a decade plus, it was always so much how-to stuff. How to do this, and not even just how to, understanding certain concepts, understanding female nature, for example, understanding politics, red pills on politics, female nature, like the world itself, how people move, human psychology, like all these different things. I'm like, I need to understand these things and I need to understand how to apply these things. Like I just enjoyed self-development, right? All these, like, that was my main thing. I wanted to get better so I could do more things in terms of like my capabilities as a human being or as a man. I'm like, how do I do things? So when I look at my YouTube and podcast history, I'd always be listening to podcasts that make me a better me, that make me stronger, smarter, and faster. Like that's what naturally I'd always pay attention to when I looked at my YouTube history, when I looked at my podcast history, because as I said, I'm going through this myself, but I've also already personally off camera, obviously, did this myself, which is why I'm saying it now. Like, that's what I figured out about myself. I'm like, bro, I love self-development stuff. Like, that's what I enjoy paying attention to naturally. Like, I'm always thinking about how do I get better? How do I get stronger? Okay. So that's how I found out. I'm like, oh, so this personal development thing, that seems to be a theme of my YouTube history. Okay, let's move on. Next thing. What do people say I'm good at or always talk about? Okay, this is massive. So in high school, for a lot of my high school friends, like a lot of them used to be like, bro, you should be a motivational speaker, bro. Like the way you talk about overcoming things and how to overcome pain and suffering, like you talk about these things all the time, bro. And one of my other friends would be like, bro, you're so like mature. And they meant like mature in the context of your understanding of things is at a level that is like weird or unique for our age range. Like the way you're talking about things, like it's like, or your understanding of things in terms of like overcoming obstacles, so on and so forth, being motivated, being disciplined. Like you really understand this shit. And it's just like, I was like, oh, because I was thinking back to this. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do kind of talk about this shit all the time. And whenever I do talk about it, I really enjoy talking about it. Like, bruh, them late night PS4 party chats, I used to be going crazy, yo. And them late night PS4 party chats, bruh, I used to just start spitting out of nowhere. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta focus, y'all. Cause you gotta understand in life. That's always how I just start talking, bro. And I just get going. I start yapping. They're like, damn, that's fucking wild what you just said, Ali. I'm like, I'm telling you, bro, but it's real shit. Like I enjoyed being real about things. So I'm like, oh, I guess and well, it's kind of like almost mixed. It's like being a motivational speaker, talking about motivating things, right? My aunt used to even say that I always be talking about things, or the way I'd be talking about things is like, she'd compare me to other guys that were like this. So I think more on the religious side because I grew up in a mostly Christian family. So she'd be like, you talk about like this one Christian guy who's a motivational speaker. You talk exactly like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's cool. So like, I'm being told these things by other people that I'm naturally doing something that is unique to me that they don't see in other people. Like, yo, this motivational thing that you do, bro, like I don't see anybody else like doing it in the sense of like their friend groups or who they're around in terms of my family members. And even my friends are like, yo, something's different about you. So I'm like, okay, my YouTube history shows that I enjoy self-development and I tend to talk about self-development a lot, right? So with the people that I'm around. Okay, so where do I spend my money? Okay, so when I took out like food and hygiene, for example, I would realize like, okay, where am I spending my money? So I used to spend it on soccer. But the thing is, what's interesting to understand is that with personal development, I was personally developing or was interested in self-development so I could be using it for something. And soccer was also something that I liked throughout high school and the beginning of college. Well, that's what I enjoyed doing. That's what I love doing. I wanted to be a professional. So I'm like, if I'm learning self-development and all this other kind of shit, it's for this vehicle so I can be the best at this, so I can be insanely good at this thing, right? So I'm like, oh, that's why I spent so much money on soccer, because this is my vehicle for my development. Because the thing with personal development, guys, and self-development, you can't just do it just to do it. You're gaining these abilities. You're developing yourself to do something in the world, to impact the world to some degree. And soccer was that vehicle for me, right? Throughout high school and the beginning of college for me. Like that's what my vehicle was. So I'd be spending, whenever I wasn't spending money on food or hygiene or any other random nefarious thing that's inconsistent, it would consistently go to soccer stuff, like going to tryouts, going for whatever trips I needed to go to, buying equipment like cleats and stuff, shin guards, whatever, cut socks, bags, whatever it was. Like I'd be spending most of my money on soccer stuff because that was my vehicle for self-development, right? And whenever I would talk about soccer, it was in that context, like how to be a better player, how to focus better, how to train myself. I used to build systems on Notion for like, okay, how to turn my development as a soccer player into like a video game, like FIFA. Like I'm upgrading myself. I even have an upgrade board. Like that's how deep I would get into it because it was like a self-development game for me with soccer. But it's crazy. What ended up happening was then I looked at consecration, right? Because I had a little bit of ability with consecration. So I was like, you know what? I think I actually have way more opportunities with self-development through consecration. And consecration can be my vehicle that I use to make money and get rich. Because as a big disclaimer here, guys, I want you guys to find your purpose so you can make money and get rich and gain status. I don't want you guys to find your purpose so you can be like, oh yeah, I found my purpose in life and I'm fulfilled. No, as a man, you still need to perform, bro. You have a burden of performance. You need to make money and get rich and gain status and become important. Your purpose just helps you do this at an extreme degree, right? But anyway, I'll cover that at the end of this video. But the point is, for me, I was like, oh, I spent all my money on this vehicle for soccer that I spent all my money on soccer, which is a vehicle for my self-development. And now what ended up happening to what has led to me doing what I'm doing now, I'm like, you know what? Consecration is actually a better vehicle for my self-development and my improvement and gaining a lot of power in my life, right? So I'm like, oh, let me do consecration now, which has led to these videos that I'm making today, talking about self-development stuff and mental model stuff all the fucking time, all day, every day, because that's the shit that I enjoy doing, right? Or that's the shit that I enjoy doing now to develop myself personally and from a self-development standpoint. That's what I enjoy fucking talking about. Okay. Last but not least, my favorite one. What's your favorite movie / main character? So my favorite movie is actually Naruto the movie, Ninja Clash in the Land of Snow. And that movie came out in 2004. And I know a lot of you niggas probably watching this are familiar with anime by now. And you've heard of Naruto because Naruto is one of the most famous animes in the world. So I watched that movie in 2004 or 5 or whatever. And that shit changed my fucking life. I was like, yo, what the fuck? This movie lit as shit. And obviously with a lot of my content that I make, you can see anime is a big part of it to a degree. It's subtle, but it's there, right? So for me, when I watched this movie, I'm like, bro, I just love this shit. I used to be Naruto running on the fucking playground. I was a real ass nigga, y'all. Like, I was a real ass nigga. So I used to be Naruto running on the playground and shit. But the point is, with this movie demonstrated everything that I wanted to be or everything that I liked, right? There was one scene in this movie that I think I can encapsulate it because I don't want this video to be so fucking long for you guys. But one scene from that movie is that Naruto is in this tunnel, like running, and he has this girl on his back because the girl is the main plot point of the movie. So he has this girl on his back and he's in a tunnel and he's running through the tunnel like casually to get back to everybody else. And all of a sudden tracks form and a train is now chasing them like super fucking fast. These niggas is going fast. This train's going fast as shit. And he's like, well, I'm in this fucking tunnel and we're going to fucking die if I don't start running. So nigga just gets the fuck. He starts running, right? So he's running. And then the girl on his back is like, what the fuck? We can't outrun this train. You can't outrun this train. What the fuck is wrong with you? Stop running. We're going to die. It's over, whatever. And he's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm a real ass nigga. And he keeps running. And then he says something that was so powerful for me. He's just like, even if you're ready to call it quits, I'm never going to give up ever. And I'm like, yo, that's so fucking me. Like, when I was like, I don't know, when I was like 5 or 6, I was like, damn, that's so fucking facts. And then he's like running and he's going crazy. He's going super high. He's like, come on. Y'all should watch this shit after this. Just search up the clip. Just search up on YouTube, Naruto running through. In fact, I'll link it for you niggas. That's how lit this shit is. I'll link it for you niggas. But he's running. He's like, I ain't gonna give up fucking ever. He's like, come on. He just keeps running. And then the hype music is playing. I'm like, oh shit, yo, this shit is live, bro. I'm like going crazy. I'm like, oh man, this shit right here. And then boom, you know what I'm saying? Right at the last second, gets out of the tunnel, dives out the way, the train flies past. I'm like, bruh, that's so fucking me. That's like what I want my life to exactly be like. You know what I'm saying? I love this grind shit. I love this hustle shit. I love this never give up shit. I even have this shit tattooed on my arm just to show y'all. Y'all see that? Damn, I'm making this video mad long doing all this extra shit, but it's important for you guys to understand. So that means never give up in Japanese. So because of how like powerful that scene was for me, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this is my shit. This is why I want to improve. This is why I want to get stronger. So in moments of insane and immense turmoil, I perform and I still do well and I can overcome anything. And Naruto just represented that to me so well, especially just that moment in that movie. You know, there's so many other moments in that movie that are so clean, but it's that particular moment that I want us to describe to you guys to understand. Like, I'm like, yo, this is my shit. This is like who I am, and this is what I represent. And I hope through my content and everything I talk about and say that's what I represent to you all. So like, that's how I went through all these questions for me, and I realized like what my purpose is, which is self-development, you know, and personal development and improving and getting stronger and smarter and faster so I can fight. So I want to gain as much power as possible as a man so I can fight and protect the things that I value, like my country, for example. Like I love the US, so I want to protect this shit. How can I protect it if I don't become strong and important? You know what I'm saying? So it's like self-development allows me to do that. That's why I love this shit. That's why I love getting better. That's why I love talking about this shit all the time. Like that's why I love this shit. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I hope that helped you guys like understand more how to do this and how to start to really pay attention to yourself by asking yourself these questions, because you're going to find a main theme. So now I want you guys to think about it for yourself. So let's say you go through all of this. You look at your YouTube history. You're seeing it's always about basketball, for example. You look at what people say you always talk about all the time and what you're really passionate about when you ever talk about it. And it's like basketball. And where do you spend your money on things that are not food and hygiene? It's basketball. And what's your favorite movie in MC? It's like fucking Air Buddy or something that involves basketball. So you're like, oh, basketball is my thing, right? So I should become a professional basketball player. Pause. Maybe not necessarily, because we have to be practical here, guys. We have to be circumstantial here. If you realize basketball is something that you really love, and that's the main theme of all these things, when you notice where you notice that your focus is naturally going, right? It's basketball. Well, if you're 48 years old watching this video, or you're whatever, 39 years old watching this video, well, pursuing a professional basketball career might not be in the best of your interest based off your circumstances and what's available to you right now. Like you have to develop this discernment. But that doesn't mean, oh, well, I guess I have no purpose in life and my life is just going to suck and whatever the fuck ever. No, that's not necessarily the case. It's just that you have to find a way to make a vehicle around basketball, to build a career around basketball, to make money around basketball. How can you do that? Well, you could become a coach. You could start a basketball podcast. You could become a personal trainer for basketball players specifically. You could start a YouTube channel talking about fucking basketball news and shit. Like the opportunities to make money around a particular concept is endless. It's endless. So even if you come up with a particular thing, a main idea like basketball or soccer or golf or some shit, it doesn't mean professional this player. It doesn't mean that. But let me also say, on the other side of this, if you're watching this video and you're 16, 17, 18 right now, that is on the cards for you to pursue a professional basketball career. You have the time and energy. It's just when you're older, when you're 48, 39, your body's slowing down. You don't have as much energy. So, of course, it doesn't really make sense. But when you're on the younger side, nigga, yes, go all in. If you want to be a professional basketball player, pursue that shit, right? Or whatever other athlete, if you're on the younger side. You just have to have the discernment based on your own situation. For me, going back to me, for me, soccer was my main vehicle. I wanted to be a professional soccer player. But when I weighed my current circumstances and the benefits, I'm like, I have way more longevity and potential with the content thing than I do with soccer. Even though I love soccer. I like soccer a lot. But I'm like, this content thing is a way better vehicle for my purpose. So I made that choice and I'm like, okay, let me just do content fully now. And that's what has led to what I'm doing today. So you also have to make those choices based off your own personal circumstances. But it's important to understand what this is so you can figure out what your purpose is. So you can make sure whatever you're doing, you're fulfilled. And the biggest thing out of all of this, the goal here is to make money and get rich and become important, guys, to reach the peak of your masculinity. That's the point of this. The reason why I'm teaching this purpose thing is not just so, oh, you have a purpose. Like as I was saying before, oh, I have a purpose now. It's so you can get rich and make money, as I was mentioning earlier. Like I want the people who make the most money It's always because of this. It's because whatever they're doing, they find purpose in it. They're fulfilled by the day in, day out work that their purpose requires. That's why they make the most money. People who are just in games to make money, or just in games when money is just whatever you have to do, just do whatever you have to do to make money. You can only play that game for so long before you eventually start asking yourself, what is my purpose? I'm telling you. This is why you can only play this game of, oh, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to make money for a short period of time, because eventually you're going to be like, well, what the fuck am I doing? Because you're going to wake up every single day and you're going to hate what you do. Because as I mentioned way at the beginning of this video, your purpose, right, or the outcomes of your pursuit is only 5% of the time, whereas the other 95% is pursuit. So you're going to hate every single second of your life 95% of the time and only enjoy it 5% of the time when the money hits your bank account. It's just not a sustainable way to live. And as I already said, you're not even going to make the most money doing that. Because the guy who's willing to play the game forever because he loves this shit is going to make more than everybody else, is going to gain more status than everybody else. And I want you guys to gain as much money and status and reach the peak of your masculinity and perform and gain power. Well, the only way you can do that is make sure the work you're doing is so fulfilling for you, you'll do it forever. Because the people who win never stop playing the game. And if you want to ensure that you win, you have to make sure you never stop playing the game. How do you never stop playing the game? You find out what your purpose is. You start asking yourself these questions. You start paying attention to your own behaviors. You find the main theme. You're like, okay, with this main theme, what is a career I can build out of this, that I can do forever, that I will enjoy forever and be fulfilled by forever around this purpose, right? And then you start doing it. And then if you do it forever, I promise you, you will get rich and you will gain status and fame for doing it, which is the goal of all men everywhere, right? So I hope all of this fucking makes sense, because this is probably, in my opinion, one of my most important videos ever. Like, this is so important, bro, because eventually every nigga is going to ask themselves this question. Whether you just want to ignore it for now and be like, nah, I'm just, whatever it takes to make money right now, I'm in a bad position, I just need money. Fine. But eventually you're going to ask yourself this question. And the earlier the age that you start to make this clear for you, bro, you become ridiculously dangerous. You become a literal calamity ready to come. I'm telling you, you become inevitable because you love what you do and you're willing to do it forever. You're going to beat everyone, which is why I love this shit, which is why I think this is so clean. This is why I think this is one of my most important videos, because this really changes the game completely. So if all that made sense, let me know down below in the comments. Say all hell Ali, because this nigga has been cooking and I'm really cooking, because this shit will change your life. It's changed mine, so it should change yours. On my mama, it will. You know what I'm saying? So if you like this shit, let me know down below. Of course, like and subscribe. I'm trying to build the fam army. I'm trying to get rich and famous too, y'all. That's why I teach y'all to do it, because I want to do it too. So make me rich and famous. What the fuck? That just obviously makes sense. Like, come on now. So yeah, just like and subscribe, of course. Let's build the fam. Let's keep cooking. I got another video for y'all again tomorrow, per usual, because that's how hard we cook. I love doing this shit, as I said. And yeah, so I'm going to catch y'all in the next fucking video. Deuces.